right? It's this time we encourage everyone to do whatever services you can do, and we all have to stretch ourselves a little. And this is the time we stretch ourselves, right? Again, we are doing for the pleasure of Supreme Lord, right? Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So we should not leave any stone unturned. Whatever way we can, we should support. Okay. And also, Prabhali Mataji, about we all want to. Can I request everyone knows there is a family from Chicago for surgery. Uddhav Prabhu is not feeling well. I mean, the situation is again deteriorating. So the details are there in the Devotee Care Group. So we request everyone, though you may not know Uddhav Prabhu personally, but devotee's heart is very compassionate, and we can always pray from bottom of our heart to Shri Radha Gopi Jambala, Mithai Pratim Bhagavati, and Shri Prabhupada that they shower their blessing, and if they so desire, they shower their blessings on the devotee who need help. So can I request everyone to please bottom their heart chant one time Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Now for your name, I request today's celebrity speaker, who is none other than His Grace Achyut Gopal Prabhu. He's one of the most humble person that we all know. I personally come across as my honor, that he considered me, his friend. He's one of the most humble. He's involved in practically all the services. He cooks, he cleans, he preaches, he's pujari. He's known for his wonderful weekly dressing, and he's explicitly called for morning dressing, especially on festival days. So he's there on Bhagwan Jayanti, he's there on Janmashtami, he's there on Radhastami. All major festival days, he's there on altar, primarily leading the weekly dressing, right? And I had a hard time trying to get some information about him because he never shared any information about it. Yeah, he told you, just do the announcement and that's it. But we are really honored that he decided to speak from bottom of his heart on this Sunday Feast gathering. So we thank you very much for all your support. By qualification, he is masters, but he won't tell more the details. He's in the process of more than 15 years and formally initiated more than 10 years back. And he never say no to any services. That's why sometimes devotees are very afraid of asking him for something because he might say yes. At the cost of all other things. He does online too. I remember there's a major function. I think it was the doctor's half sari function. We were there till literally middle of the night. And next morning, 3:30, he was there doing weekly services. Right? So that's kind of dedication that we have. So it's our honor that we are able to hear from him during the Sunday Feast gatherings. His Grace Achyut Gopal Prabhu ki jai. You can understand, right? Shyam Krishna Prabhu is ready to garland.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Namo तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादा सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं अंगं लगायते यत्कृपातमोदे श्रीगुरुर्भगवान् परमानन्दं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। You must be surprised to see me here. I am also surprised. I am here by the order of Vishnu Prabhu. I seek the blessings of His Vishnu Prabhu first and all the assembly devotees here, so I can speak something. Please pray so that I can speak something valuable. I try to repeat whatever I have heard, so we are all can hear the glories of Krishna ahead of Janmashtami. I'm feeling like fish just come out of water. So please bear with me. Tolerate me. So I tell stories to my kids and my spouse at home. I'll share some stories about Hari today, Hari Katha. There was a doctor called Shailesh Mehta. He's from Baroda. He's a famous cardiologist. So he might be about 70, 80 years now. But this incident happened in 2009. And he was sharing this story to his friend. So since he's a cardiologist, he cuts at least 10 to 15 hearts every single day, physically. So one day, he has a big group of doctors, around hundreds of them. So the patient will meet Dr. Mehta only when it is necessary, like the case is critical, so they meet him. So one day, the junior doctors came to him and said, doctor, we have an issue. We have a small patient. She is of 6 years old. And her problem is very critical. Can you look at her, look at the reports, talk to them? And the patient, she is 6 years old. She came with her parents. And Dr. Mehta looked at the report and he said, no, I haven't seen somebody's heart so much clogged. You have to do surgery, open heart surgery soon. And he gave, if you don't opt for surgery, she has a time of 3 to 6 months, not more than that. And to tell you honestly, even with the surgery, there is only 30% success rate for this case. And the parents, they cried their heart out and they decided that we'll go for surgery. And the mother, she was with her daughter. She was praying to God, and she was reciting mantras, and she was telling the stories of Krishna to her. And the day of surgery came. Everything was planned. She was brought into a sterilized room. Everything was arranged. The doctor came. Doctor looked at the patient and he smiled. Um, and the 6 years old girl, she asked, "Doctor, I heard you are doing open heart surgery. Does that mean that you cut open my heart out?" The doctor said, "Don't worry. You will not feel any pain. Nothing will happen to you. You will be all right." "No, doctor, I'm not worried. But I'm not worried about it. But tell me my question. Answer my question." And doctor said, "Yes, I have to cut open your heart." And then the girl said, "When you open my heart, my mother has said that God resides in the heart. So can you look for God and tell me how He looks?" Doctor said, "Yes, okay, we'll tell you that." And they sedated her and they began to do the surgery. And once they started the surgery, they have heart machine, lung machine, everything was arranged. 45 minutes into the surgery, the heart was so much clogged and they could not bring any drop of blood into the heart. And Mr. Mehta said, "This is hopeless case. I think it's not going to happen. So let's stop everything. The girl is normal." As he was saying that, he remembered the words of the girl, saying, asking him, "When you open my heart, can you look for God and tell me how He looks?" And then immediately, he's an atheist. For 45 years, he has been cutting the hearts. He has been helping others, but he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in God. But that day, that time, he folded his hands and said a prayer. "My Lord, I have whatever knowledge I have gained, whatever skills I have put that into practice. But I can't help this girl. So if you are there in her heart, please save her. I cannot save. It is you who can only save." And once he uttered those prayers, within few moments, the junior doctor, he nudged him and said, "Mehta, Dr. Mehta, I see the blood drop coming into the heart." And he cried. He couldn't see anything. And he asked one of the nurses there, "Can you take out my glasses and wipe them? I can't see anything." And he put the glasses again and he said, Let's start the operation." No, I don't believe in miracles, but no, this is the miracle. So let's start. And they did surgery for 4.5 more hours. And finally, the operation was successful. And now, this Mr. Mehta, he was sharing this story to his friend. This was in 2009. And he's saying, "I don't know what I'm going to answer this girl now. The girl is going to open her eyes in a day or two. I'm going to meet her. She's alive. Her heart surgery went fine, and she will live for 60 more years. No problem. But she'll ask a question. What is that question? Have you seen God? How does He look? What am I going to answer him? Answer her?" And then he thought for so long. And he went to the girl, and the girl asked the question, "Doctor, thank you for saving me, but tell me, how does God look like?" And of course, he said Don't try to see God, but try to experience God. You can experience God. And he cried and he said, I have been teaching so many students, I have cut so many hearts, I have been helping so many people, but this little girl helped me. Why? I felt that I am so educated. I am the one who is saving my lives, who is saving the lives. But today I understood it is the God who was saving all through the while. And she is the one who made me cultured. After 40 years, I can say that I am a cultured man now. I believe in God. So he said to experience, even Prabhupada, he said, do not try to see God, but serve God in such a way that God wants to see you. And we can experience God in our life. All we have to do is to have eyes to see God. And we don't have eyes. God, Krishna is all spiritual. Right? Radha Gopi Janavallabha is here. We are seeing them, and at the same time, we are not seeing them. Right? Pashyati, apashyati. To see God, we have to see through the eyes of Shastra, through the eyes of Guru. Who is this Krishna? We can appreciate, we can experience Krishna only when we know about him. Who is he? Who is Krishna? What are his qualities? What is his greatness? What is so great about him that we want to celebrate Janmashtami? Janmashtami is Janma. It is in Bhagavad Gita, it is a Janma Karma Chame Divya. His Janma, his Karma are Divya. Divya means divine. Our Janma, when we take birth, we are normal people. We celebrate birthdays. Right? We take birth because we are forced to take birth. We are conditioned. We don't want to leave. Nobody wants to die here. I don't want to die. Anybody doesn't want to die. Right? But we are forced to leave our body, die. We are forced. But Krishna he comes by his own will, by the request of his devotees. You all know the story, how Mother Earth, she was burdened by the wrongdoings of so many kings. And she went to Brahma. And she was asking Brahma to relieve me of this burden. And Brahma, he didn't have an answer. So he took all the demigods along with him and they went to Milkosh. And there he was reciting Purusha Sukta prayers. And that's when Vishnu, he, through the medium of heart, he transmitted a message. And Brahma broadcasted that message to all the demigods that Vishnu is going to appear in the dynasty of Yadu. So you all take birth in the dynasty of Yadu. So who is this Krishna? What is his greatness? So there are 6 qualities. Krishna itself means all attractive, one who attracts everyone. But we are not attracted to him. And I'm speaking to myself. This is for me, so that I can implement. So if it benefits you, that's bonus. So our heart is conditioned. Our heart is not pure. We can't see anything spiritual. Or we are in material conditioned state. So in this conditioned state, we are not attracted towards spirit. Although Krishna is attractive, because of our condition, we are unable to get attracted towards him. Krishna has 64 qualities and Vishnu has 60 qualities. What are those 4 qualities that Krishna has additionally to what Vishnu has? He has Rupa Madhuri. His Rupa, his form, is so beautiful that even Cupid, Kamadev, he gets attracted towards Krishna. That is his beauty. I don't get about beautiest, we can say, the most handsome person or beautiful person in the whole world. He may be looking like a monkey before a cupid, right? That cupid, he is getting attracted towards Krishna. He can't turn off his eyes. That is the beauty of Krishna. That is Rupa Madhuri. And yes, Bhakta Madhuri. His devotees are so loving. And the exchange between his devotees, the Leela Madhuri is so ecstatic, so great. That's the reason even now, after 5,500 years later, more than 5,500 years later, we are still talking about Krishna in his pastimes. One day, Balramji was talking to Krishna. Balramji said to Krishna, Krishna, you see, Nanda Maharaj is fair colored. And Yashoda Mata, she's also fair colored. But he was trying to look into the eyes of Krishna. But what? Krishna is saying, but what? Look at you. You know the secret? I want to tell a secret today. What is that secret? So please tell me, brother, I want to hear the secret. The secret is you are not born to Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. They got you from the marketplace. So that's why they have a different color. And then immediately Krishna, he was all in tears. What do you mean? Is Mother Yashoda not my mother? Is Nanda Maharaj not my Baba, not my father? What do you mean? And he started crying. He went to Yashoda, Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, is it true that you brought me from marketplace? Is it not true that I was not born to you? Then who said that? No, Balram is teasing. You say Balram will protect me. He is my elder brother. But I need protection from him, from Balaramji. So, I immediately want to get married. What this has to do with that? Now, all my problems will be solved when you get me married. Why? How? Then Krishna says, no, when you get married, then I have so much, and I will marry to such a girl who is fair complexion, that I have so much of confidence now. So then Yashoda Mata says, oh, you want to marry a fair colored girl, okay. Do you have any girl in mind? And then Krishna says, actually in our culture, marriage is not between a boy and girl, it is between families. It's so affectionate and dear to Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And you, Mother Yashoda, you have so much of love and friendship to Kirtida Mata. So I think if you, for our benefit, for you and everybody, I think if you get married, me with Srimati Radharani, that would be better. That would be best. So these are the loving pastimes that we hear in Krishna Leela. So these type of pastimes you won't hear in Vishnu Leela, where there is so much of awe and reverence. So why Krishna has to come to this world? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He doesn't have to come personally here. And this place is called Mrityaloka. Right? This is place of ignorance. Nobody wants to come here. Nobody likes to come here. But Krishna, every time, now and then, every millennium, he comes. Why he has to come? He has to come only to remind ourselves that we are not part of this world, but we are part of a different world, spiritual world. To canvas that we do not belong here. We belong to a place called Vaikunta, where there is no kunta, anxieties. No. The nature of the soul is to be happy, right? When we see happy, the other person, we feel happy. But when someone is happy, we don't ask, hey, why are you happy? Right? If someone is sad, then we'll ask him, why are you feeling sad? Why? Because the nature of the soul is to be happy. So since we are suffering here, Krishna comes now and then for our benefit. So the biggest thing that Krishna wants to teach us is the forgotten relationship. When Krishna takes birth, he doesn't take birth in the family of a yogi. He doesn't take birth in an aristocratic family, but he takes birth in the family of devotees. Why? Pavitranaya sadhunam vinashacha dishkrutam. So Krishna appears to protect his devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. And to canvas or show and to attract us by his pastimes. So what happens when we hear about Krishna, when we hear his Leela, when we hear his name, we chant every single day. Why we have to do? So we get attracted to him and we go back to spiritual world. Krishna, when he comes, he doesn't come alone. Krishna, when he came, he brought Vrindavan. He brought Yamuna. He brought Govardhan. He brought his friends, his parents, his energy, his Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani. He brought Bhagavad Gita also. So that we learn and we go back to God. He is giving an opportunity. When Narsingadev appears, we don't call Krishna's birthday, but we call Krishna's appearance day. Just as sun appears and disappears. Every day, sun in the morning, he appears in the east and he disappears in the west. We don't say sun is taking birth and sun is dying, because he appears every single day and he disappears every single day. Same way, Krishna appears in his various avatars. And when in other avatars, if you see, when in case of Narsingadev, we don't hear Narsingadev appearing and as a small boy, baby boy, performing pastimes, and then he's growing up and doing his pastimes. No, Narsingadev appears in the afternoon sun, somewhere around that time, and he disappears by evening time at night time. That's it. We don't hear much. But for Krishna, we have so many leelas that we can hear. And these leelas are there for us to attract us. So what is we have to understand is what is our relationship with Krishna. First is who is Krishna and what is our relationship to him. If we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we as the soul, the part and parcel of him, we are his servants. We are meant to serve him. And what kind of master Krishna is? Krishna is such a master that he wants to serve his servants. That is the nature of Krishna. In material world, when we hear master, the master wants to enjoy and he tries to exploit his servants. But in the spiritual world, the master is trying to serve the servant. To share a small story, when during the Kurukshetra war, Duryodhan came to Bhishma Dev one day. Bhishma, you are very powerful and you have Ichcha Mrityu also. That means he'll die at his will. Nobody can kill him. So, but you are not putting your effort. You are partial to Pandavas. I feel that you are only waging the war just for the sake of it. You are not putting your heart into it. And Bhishma was offended. He said, "Oh, you think so? Now take these 5 arrows. With these 5 arrows, tomorrow I'm going to kill these 5 Pandavas." And Duryodhana said, "Well, that's the case. I will keep them safe. Give it to me. Let me save them with me, and I will give you tomorrow in the morning." And here Arjuna was sleeping, and Krishna, he knows the past, present, and future. And Krishna is in anxiety. Duryodhana has these 5 arrows. Now, if Bhishma has promised, and Bhishma is competent too, not that Bhishma is not capable of killing his Pandavas. And Krishna is in so much of anxiety that Krishna is waking up Arjun. Arjun, wake up, wake up. We have a problem. What is the problem? Bhishma has promised to kill all of you Pandavas tomorrow. And he has said he will kill these with these 5 arrows, and Duryodhana has saved these 5 arrows. We have to get those 5 arrows. And Arjuna said, "That is your problem. That is not my problem." Right. So Krishna pleaded Arjuna, "Now please come with me." You remember, Duryodhana has given you boons. So you ask for those boons. Come with me. So after the request of Krishna, Arjuna followed Krishna. They went, and they went into the room of Duryodhana. Duryodhana, there he invited Arjuna. He said, "Arjuna, what do you want? You came here. Do you want to end the war? Do you want the kingdom?" And Arjuna said, "No, no, I'm not a beggar. I want to fight the war. I'm a Kshatriya. I want to fight the war and to gain the kingdom." Then why is that you have come? I came here to take those 5 arrows that you have promised Bhishma to give tomorrow in the morning. Duryodhana was surprised. And Duryodhana had no other choice but to give those 5 arrows. So that is Krishna. Krishna can go to any extent to save his devotees. He can go to any extent. Coming to the story, Devameda is one of the kings in Yadu dynasty, and he has 2 wives. Through a Kshatriya wife, he begot a son called Surasena, and through a Vaishya wife, he begot a son called Parjanya. And this Parjanya, he had many sons, and one of the sons is Nanda Maharaj. And here, Surasena, he has a son called Vasudeva. And there was one more king called Devaka, and his daughter is Devaki. So this Vasudeva was married to Devaki. You all know the story, but I just wanted to give some summary of the story. So when Vasudeva was married to Devaki, there was a big celebration on the wedding day. And Kamsa, who was the prince, he has so much of strength, but out of love towards his sister, he said, "I will drive the chariot." So he became the charioteer. So as Kamsa was driving the chariot, as you all know, there is an Akashavani. And he said, "Kamsa, you fool, the 8th son of Devaki is going to kill you." And immediately what happened? Kamsa, who was a gentleman, at once he became mad, a mental man. And immediately, he was so much of loving towards his sister, but immediately he became so envious of her. So much so that he held her with her hair, and he was about to kill her. And if you see the parallels, Krishna was also a charioteer. And here Kamsa is also charioteer. But Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead, when in the Kurukshetra war, when Krishna wants to drive the chariots, uh, Arjuna has to kick behind on the back of Krishna. To go to the right, he has to kick on the right side of Krishna, and to go left, he has to kick on the left side of Krishna. Because there is no time for him to, hey Krishna, can you please turn my chariot towards right? No, there is no time. There is arrows flying over everywhere. So he has to kill. The war is so much serious. So he was kicking Krishna. If he kicks in the middle, then Krishna has to go straight. So here, Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead, he became a charioteer as a servant of his devotee, and he is receiving the kicks, and Krishna is enjoying those kicks because Krishna is absolute. Here, Kamsa, as a conditioned soul, I'm speaking to myself. When our mind and senses are not controlled, we have no control. We behave wherever mind wants to behave. We go just as the senses drag us, and the conditioned soul goes along with the senses, and the mind follows it. So this Kamsa, who was like a cultured man, few minutes before, he became like an animal. So that is a position of a conditioned soul. When our mind and senses are not controlled, we don't know what happens. In a flick of a moment, everything was all right at home. In a flick of a moment, something happens. Somebody says something, and we burst out in anger. In flip of a moment, something happens. We become upset. Why? Because we have an uncontrolled mind and senses. We have no control. We are like a puppets in the three modes of material nature. Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. If you see in Bhagavad Gita, there is a picture where we are being handled, the puppeteer. We are like a puppet in the hands of a puppeteer. And the puppeteer with three strings, mode of Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. He pulls the strings and we act accordingly. Someday, our Sattvagun string is being pulled and we behave so good. Sometime our Rajagun string is being pulled. We become so passionate. We want to drive for a cause. And sometimes Tamogun string is pulled and we are in lazy mode. So we don't have an independence. We think we are independent, but we are not independent. We are being controlled by the three modes of material nature. What is our independence? Our independence is on dependence of Krishna. When we depend on Krishna, that is our independence. So as coming back to the story, as at the time, Vasudeva was surprised to see the behavior of Kamsa and said to save his wife, Vasudeva employed Sama Veda Dandopa. So he was trying to save, he spoke so nicely to Kamsa about the philosophy. After all, when a man has taken a birth, death is for sure. So why are you so afraid of death? And he spoke so much, trying to request Kamsa to let go Devaki, but he couldn't listen. And he tried in so many ways to protect her, and he couldn't. Then finally, Vasudeva, he promised, the threat for you, for your life, is not because of Devaki, but because of the eighth child of Devaki. So I promise you that every child born of Devaki, I will bring them to you. And Kamsa, although a fool, although a conditioned person, he knows the greatness of Vasudeva. He said, Vasudeva is a man of honor. He'll keep his word. He has so much of faith in a person of Vasudeva, kind of person of Vasudeva. So he believed in him. He said, all right. He let go Devaki and Vasudeva. And according to his vow, every time a child is born, he brought. When the first child was born, he brought it to Kamsa. Said, my dear Kamsa, here is my firstborn baby. Can you imagine someone like Vasudev, taking his child to Kamsa. And he knows for sure that he is going to kill his baby. Even a normal person like us, you can't imagine something happens to your child. But here, Vasudev, knowing fully well that his child will be dead, his child will be killed, murdered, he still brought that child to Kamsa. That's a devotee who lives by his word. And Kamsa, to his surprise, he said, No, 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 Vasudev, I don't have threat from this baby. I have threat from the eighth baby. So this baby is no harm to me. So you please take this baby child back. And Vasudev is not happy. Vasudev knew that this person is not controlled. His mind and senses are not controlled. Today he might speak sweetly, but tomorrow he'll show his anger, wrath upon me, upon this child. So you all know how the kids were killed, one after the other. And the seventh child, how the Yogamaya transferred, Sri Baldevji is transferred from the womb of Devaki to Rohini. And now the eighth child is the womb, and everybody is looking. There is auspiciousness around Devaki in the prison house. There are very good omens. She was dreaming good omens. There were prayers by demigods. And Devaki was looking so much effulgent. Even Kamsa was surprised to see Mother Devaki. No, I haven't seen my sister so effulgent and so brilliant. Sure, something must be in her womb. I don't know who is he. He may the person who is going to kill me. And Kamsa was seeing all bad omens from then on. And on the Ashtami day, as you all know, in the mid of the night, Krishna was born. And how was Krishna appeared? When a normal child takes birth, he cries. But here, Krishna, you don't see him crying. And how he is? He is in his four-handed form, holding Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. And he has his own dhoti. And by seeing Krishna or Vishnu, Devaki became overwhelmed, paid obeisances. And Devaki is requesting Vishnu, my dear Lord, you have appeared in this form. Now for sure Kamsa knows that you are the one who is going to kill him and he'll be after you. So please transform yourself like a baby, like a normal child. Now Krishna transformed himself into a baby and he instructed, before he transformed into a baby, he instructed Vasudev, now you transfer me to Gokul Mahavan, to Nanda Maharaj's home. And there, to Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, there is a baby girl who was born. So bring her here. Swap both of us. And yesterday, beautifully, his Grace was mentioning, Vasudev having undergone so much of pain all through these years, many years. But still, he did not say, no, my Lord, how am I going to do? I am bound with shackles. I am bound in this prison house. How am I going to take you? As a devotee, he said, yes, my Lord, I'm always there for service. And he, after saying yes, Vishnu has transformed himself into a small baby. And he placed himself in a small box covered with soft clothing. And he held the baby. And what was this prison like? This prison, in the prison, they are shackled, just like animals. You see, animals are shackled with their legs, on their legs and on their neck. That's how they were shackled. Just a room to go around. And this prison is made up of iron gates. And there are 16 gates, one after another. And after the 16 gates, there are lions. And after the lions, there are stone slabs hanging. If somebody passes by, the slab would fall on them. And on top of that, there are guards guarding the prison. So you see how much secure the prison is. And Vasudeva had no idea what is going to happen, how he's going to take this boy to Gokul. He simply has the desire to fulfill the wish of Krishna. So as he picked up the boy, immediately all the shackles, they ripped off. He got freed. And as he was moving, one after the other, each door started opening, one after the other, slowly as he was moving, like a sensor. And everybody is put into Maya, sleep, Yoga Nidra. No, not Yoga Nidra, but Nidra Devi captured all of them, both in, not only in Mathura, but also in Gokul. So everybody here in the prison, everybody in Mathura, and everybody in Gokul also were sleeping. And Vishnu has said, you have to do in such a way that nobody knows about it. And he has so much of big task now. So as he was passing, everything was going according to the plan of God, will of the Lord. As he was crossing Yamuna, I'll just quickly finish it. As he was passing Yamuna, Yamuna was rising so high, that Yamuna wants to touch the feet of Lord. And Yamuna subsided only after touching the feet of the Lord. And there was Ananta Shesh. It was pouring. When Vasudeva is walking, he should not make any sound. How can you control someone? How can you control the sound? There was so much of downpour of rain. And there was so much of thunderbolt that nobody could hear the sound of his footsteps. So this Vasudeva, he took Vasudeva Krishna, and he went to Yashoda Mata's home, Gokul. And there, Yashoda has given birth to two babies. One is a baby boy and one is a baby girl. The baby girl is Yogamaya, and the baby boy is Krishna, Yashoda Krishna, or Nandanandan Krishna. So as soon as this Vasudeva took this baby, Vasudeva Krishna, immediately this Vasudeva Krishna got merged into Nandanandan Krishna. And he immediately grabbed the baby girl and he went back to Mathura, back into the prison house. And everything looked normal. The gates were closed, and after taking back the shackles, shackled up by themselves because of the power of Krishna. And then the prisoners or the guards, they heard the cries of the baby girl. And they went to Hamsa to inform that the 8th child was born. So this same Krishna was born 5,000 years ago, took birth as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years back. As a devotee, he is a Channavatar. Krishna, he himself came as his devotee and he demonstrated how to be like a devotee. What is a devotee like? What is the life of a devotee? He showed like a teacher when he's teaching alphabets to the student. The teacher knows the alphabet, but the teacher holds the hand of the student and makes sure he writes along with the traces with the student, so student can learn. So in the same way, Krishna, although he is a supreme person of Godhead, he came in disguise as a devotee to teach us how to be like a devotee. And in this process, he taught us this beautiful process, the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This holy name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna himself. The pastimes of Krishna are non-different from Krishna himself. The qualities of Krishna, anything that Krishna is absolute. Prabhupada said, when we want to eat food, we will eat through our mouth. But Krishna can angani yasya sakalendriya buddhimanti. Krishna can do whatever activity, whichever thing he wants to eat. Krishna can eat with his eyes. That is Krishna, the supreme person of God. So Krishna is present, he is absolute, he is present in his holy name also. So I'll stop here. We have Janmashtami coming on this Wednesday. So please come and participate in Janmashtami. So when we do service to Krishna, we get closer to Krishna. And with the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and with the mood that we want to get closer to Krishna, we will celebrate this Janmashtami festival. So with this, I'll stop here. Please forgive me for speaking anything wrong. And thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.